It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullet is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Reinard has actually turned down, coaching the Nigerian Super Eagles at this point in time. And Kano Pillars have also unveiled a new coach that will actually guide the Mesugida to the start of the 2021-22 MPFL. Also, Haruna Kodri set a new African record in table tennis, and also we're going to be looking at Chukwumerije. Actually, he gets that to quit Taekwondo. Also, one man is saying Messi do not actually deserve to be crowned the Ballon d'Or for the 7th time at this point in time. This is how welcome you to yet another edition of Sport Orbit right here on the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Olawale Ayeni, and I'll be your host for today. You can see Hapa in the studio standing by the top spot. No, he's not going. Who actually spoke about the reportedly link to the Super Eagles job, talking about Reinard, and saying that he's not actually interested in coaching the 3 times African champions.
Well, it just shows you the level at which sports administration has fallen in the country, because in the past, coaches like this will be jumping at the opportunity of coaching the Eagles, but he has actually turned down the offer. In fact, from what his representative even said, he said he would even rather jump at the chance to coach Zambia once again if they actually invite him to come over and not Nigeria. But I mean, no surprise there, because all the crises, the things that go on in Nigerian football, people all over the world, they watch these things. He will be pretty aware of all these things, and of course, they don't want to get himself entangled in our internal situation when it comes to the running of football. And flatly, he has turned down, and currently he's the coach of Saudi Arabia. And we all know that when it comes to African football, this man is highly experienced. 1-2 AFCONs with Zambia, and with 15, So I think this would have been left to me. If he was open to taking the job, he would have been a very good appointment. Is
it a major blow to the Nigerian Super Eagles at this point in time? Knowing fully well his pedigree, in the African football, in and out of African football, he has coach Zambia, coach, Ivory Coast, one of the best team when it comes to football in Africa. So is it like a big blow to the Super Eagles?
It's a big blow, because Nigeria is in need of an experienced coach who will steady the ship, because the sacking of Gernot Rohr every day is looking more and more likely. I know that at some point, yes, the issue right now is surveillance package, but I know that definitely at some point something will have to give way, because from reports I've even gotten that the minister is insisting that Gernot Rohr has to leave before the Nations Cup, and he wants the NFF to find a way around the surveillance package and sort it out. Though it's quite some huge amount, but I don't know how they're going to work around it. But like people keep saying, the NFF actually put itself in this situation. You had the opportunity of sacking this man, but instead of laying him off, you still went ahead to renew his contract. Even after the performance they put up at the World Cup, after the World Cup, you'd have just let him go. But you still allowed him to still take us to the AFCON. After the AFCON, he came back. It was like, okay, let's even let him go, and you still went ahead to renew his contract. and now you're in a very difficult situation of how to resolve this whole issue. But big blow to Nigeria, because I would have really loved someone like this who is experienced when it comes to African football.
For me, I actually know the terrain very well.
Exactly.
He has coached, in the eastern part and also in the western part of central part of Africa. He has actually got to a whole lot of our nation's cup. So he has this load of experience under his belt. So let's just see what pans out. Let's see what the leadership of the NFF. Let's see who they will actually give the next reported coaching job to all
So
the
many
Nigerian
rumors flying around
of course.
different names.
At this point in time,
Situation, really.
of course, AFCON is just barely 1 month away, and at this point in time, the team does not even know who will be actually leading the 3 times African champions to the Nations Cup. But away from that, still talking about football, but we head straight to the news coming from Kano Pillars at this point in time, where Salisu Yusuf has been appointed as a new technical advisor for the Messi Buddha team. We know Salisu Yusuf, one of the experienced coaches when it comes to the MPFL. And at this point in time, he's set to take over the affairs over the club at the start of the 2021-2022 season. Good move for Kano Pillars, or good move for Salisu Yusuf?
Well, both ways. I mean, considering the pedigree of Kano Pillars, that's the kind of club a coach like him should be. Of course, don't forget that he was who actually led them to their first ever Premier League title in 2008. Yeah, of course, and even the person who came after him eventually led Kano Pillars to another, back-to-back titles. So I remember that period they went 3 titles straight, which has never been done in a long time in Nigerian football. So Salis is a very good coach, if you ask me. He was one-time coach of even the Chan Eagles, and he has plenty of experience. He became second
in Africa.
So he has plenty of experience when it comes to
The
local scene. Yeah, so I think it's a very good appointment for Kano Pillars, and of course, if you consider the fact that in the last couple of years, Kano Pillars haven't really
been there.
Been there, in the midst of things when you're calling the teams.
Top
in
3,
the past,
top 4.
when you call the top 3 top teams, at the end of
Pillars,
you always call Kano Pillars is always somewhere there, but Kano Pillars is no longer in that category. So I think they need someone like Salif to bring them back to that point where they used to be one of the top contenders for the league. Yeah.
Salisu Yusuf make a return to the Pyramid City after 12 years, and his first job getting to ensure that the Kano Pillars team get to win their first match in the MPFL, and also see if they can able to become champions of the MPFL again. Let's see how it's going to pan out. Him now being the coach of Kano Pillars, and also he's the assistant coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles. Should we expect more Kano Pillars players, getting to be recommended to the Nigerian Super Eagles?
Yeah, gradually, most of the time, this kind of things have a way of rubbing off, because he'll be the one who will be interfacing, day in, day out with Kano Pillars players. So you'll be able to, assess their qualities from a close contact. Of course, and you'll be able to see those who can make a difference when it comes to playing support. So I think it's a good one also for Gernot Rohr's players who, because in the absence of, we all know Gernot Rohr hardly stays in the country, so he won't have time to even see what happens in the league. So for someone like Salisu Yusuf, he'll be able to at least what, and I think even beyond Gernot Rohr's players, other clubs, because he'll be.
He just coach. He finished his contract with Good Rangers last season, and now he's in Gernot Rohr.
So he'll that opportunity of him, traveling, watching the league, because he'll be very involved. So he'll have the privilege of seeing different players from different clubs who can at least, play even on the fringes for the Super Eagles.
But let's see how it gets started. Pans out to saying all the best start to Salisu Silva when the MPFL season kickstarts and out properly. Away from that, let's do to table tennis at this point in time, where Canada country has actually set a new African record when it comes to the ITTF rankings at this point in time. At this point, he has been he's been ranked 17th in the world before the World Table Tennis Championship and now Arna has gained top 4 spots and is now ranked 13th in the ITTF world ranking. This is the first by any African at this point in time. Should we say is well deserved by Haruna Court?
Well deserved. Because I think it was just a couple of days ago when he actually broke into the top 20. I think that was on Monday or so, if I can remember. No, it was last week.
Yes,
last
before
week.
the World Cup.
Yeah.
Before the World
He
Cup.
was already in the top 20. And less than a week after he was in the top 20, he's now
in the top 13.
Top 13. I mean, that's a very, very good achievement for Aaron Okodri. And I hope that this ranking will help to spawn, a lot of upcoming tennis players. Because right now, when it comes to the sport, Aaron Okodri is currently, I mean, he's a poster boy of table tennis right now. I watched the other game he lost, even though he lost, but the game he played very fantastic.
That was round of 16.
Round of 16, played very fantastic, and that alone is not an ordinary feat to achieve.
Some people would say with the election of 4 Nigerians into the ITTF board, believe have anyway influence Aruna getting to be down to 13th place.
Really, I mean, even if you have your countrymen as officials of your federation, if you don't play well, there's no way
you'll be ranked.
There's no way you'll be ranked, So I really won't say that has really made an impact to his ranking. I mean, it's purely based on his skill, his abilities, and what he has able to to give to the game.
Of course, we want the Nigerian Table Tennis Federation to ensure that more youngsters are being grown to actually fill up the big shoes of the likes of Haruna Kodri, who for me in no distant time will be actually leaving the stage. We saw the likes of Funke or Shodaike for me. She has actually left the stage. The likes of Shagun Toriola also left the stage about a few years ago. So at this point, we want a new players who actually take over the shoes of Haruna Kodri and the rest for them to ensure that when it comes to table tennis, Nigeria will actually remain a force to be reckoned with in the African continent, just not in the African continent, but in the world at large. Away from that, we'll go for a short break. When we come back, Chukwu Merije quits Taekwondo. MBBF congratulates the Tigress after a strong start. And also, one saying Messi does not deserve to be crowned at the Ballon d'Or award for the 7th time. Also, we're looking at the matches that will be going down later this evening in the English Premiership. These and many more will come after this short break. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, my name is Gambo Aliyu, Director General National ALC for the Control of AIDS. Today is World AIDS Day. The theme of this year's World AIDS Day is End Inequalities, End AIDS, End Pandemics. We encourage people to access our services wherever they are, and we encourage people to contribute to the control of HIV/AIDS by knowing their HIV status today. Know your HIV status and do something about it. If you are HIV positive, make sure you access our services and make sure we control the HIV in you without letting it spread from you to another person. If you are HIV negative, make sure you remain HIV negative for the rest of your life.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Welcome from that short break. As we keep reiterating that today is World AIDS Day, and we expect every Nigerians for them to actually get to know their status at this point in time. Get to use protection and all that. If you're not married yet, just to ensure that you are actually safe out there. Alpha. Back to sport at this point in time. Chukwumeriji has actually created at Taekwondo at this point in time. We know he's an Olympic bronze medalist, and at this point we know that there were certain cases around him making him to actually quit Taekwondo. Alpha, can you talk us through the story?
Well, sad one. Although, yeah, I remember a couple of months ago he had come out to announce that he was going to be quitting the sport. But when he made that announcement, actually the reasons he gave then was that he hasn't really gotten everything back in return in spite of the investments and so how much he has put into the sport. But the story now we're hearing is that the World Taekwondo Integrity Committee reviewed a case of assault he had sometimes some years back, of which he has consistently maintained his innocence and all of that. So the story out now is that now that he has decided to leave the sport, the Taekwondo Federation no longer has any authority under him. So every case against him has been dropped and closed. So, well, maybe for him to save his name and to avoid those controversy, those back and forth, maybe I think is the wise thing for him to do, because the case happened a long time, but not even I'm not even talking about when it happened, but he has maintained his innocence. The investigations have been on, but over the years they haven't really come out with a concrete.
12 years ago.
12 years ago,
27.
Exactly, and exactly. So even Taekwondo ruling body hasn't really come out with a strong statement to say, okay, from our investigations we found him guilty or anything like that. So the case has been on, and I know, of course, he must have taken his toll on him, affected his career, affected his standing. So maybe he felt, look, guys, for me to just clear my name and let this case go away, maybe it's time to call it quits. After all, I mean, even if he's quitting at this time, he has nothing to lose. One African African All Africa Games gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist. So I mean, he has gotten to the peak of his career. Yeah. So,
of course, that before he actually quit Taekwondo, he was the national technical director of the Nigerian Taekwondo Federation. Also, he has been the coach. He actually guided Elizabeth to the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, even though she was actually knocked out in her first game. But he has been one man actually championing for the development of Taekwondo across the country. No doubt about it. His experience, his wisdom, and his knowledge in the game of Taekwondo will be actually missed by a whole lot of young talent who are actually coming up in that particular sport. Away from that, we are straight to basketball at this point in time, where the Nigerian Basketball Federation has actually congratulated the Tigers after finishing strong in the start of the 2022 World Cup FIFA qualification. We saw them going to Angola over the weekends, and despite losing their first game to Cape Verde, they came back strong to actually defeat Mali and Uganda to ensure that they matched the group leaders in Group A in that particular one. Should we actually refer to Musa Kida as the Nigerian basketball president or at this point in time? Because news coming from the ministry, they have actually given him a sack letter that no more the caretaker committee chairman of the Nigerian Basketball Federation.
Yeah. The last time we discussed about the MBBF concerning the threat by FIBA to wield the big hammer for Nigeria. If you remember, the letter that was addressed to Kida. So I mean, what that means, in my opinion, is that in the eyes of FIBA,
Kida is still this
actually
the president.
Because if they don't see him that way, their letter wouldn't have been addressed to him. So at this point, it's very dicey, and I believe that's what the other time we had talked about interference. I don't even know where the minister drew his powers from. to suspend someone who was elected. Whichever way you want to look at the election, whether factional or something, I don't think a minister of sports has that power to suspend or dissolve.
I can still remember months before the Olympics when the minister came out to actually dissolve all federations,
And
officials.
putting a caretaker body.
Nobody, none
Challenged
of
it.
them actually not challenged.
Yeah, that's what we are saying.
Because it was actually working in their favor.
That's what we're
And
saying.
now that it's not working in their favor, they're coming out to say that they have a constitution,
No,
they
but
have
that's
the
the thing, you see,
Congress,
but
and all that.
you see, a lot of this crisis, these guys who assume the helm of affairs in this federation are also to blame because you have a constitution, you know what is right. A minister, in the real sense, does not have those powers of dissolving an elected body. But you dissolve this elected body, putting some people there, but because they were the ones who benefited from that dissolution, they kept quiet. So, but if the board had come up to say, hey, Honorable Minister, you don't have the right to dissolve this body, let's maintain the status quo and go for elections. You know, it would have been like that.
But imagine the whole 36, about 37 sport federations
Exactly.
Standing on the ground and saying,
say
Minister, no, you don't have this right.
But it still goes back to
Absolutely.
selfishness. When you do, some people, when they benefit from an illegality, it's nothing to them. But when the tables turn, it becomes a problem.
They start to cry foul.
So for now, anyway, good work coming from the Tigers. But like we said, for now, NBBF presidents have been going by FIBA. Musa Kida is still the president of the NBBF. So until there's an election, if he wins, fine. If he doesn't, then we'll know that, okay, we have a new board of the NBBF.
But me, I will actually say that the Tigers that win against Mali and also the win against Uganda for me was not a convincing win. We saw them, it was just 2 points. 2 points.
In fact, I was shocked because when
Mali was actually leading.
Exactly.
It was just last at 3-pointer from one of our players that actually ensured that we actually run.
I was actually surprised that we even won against Angola. Because when I saw Uganda, sorry. Because when I saw that group standing, I saw Cape Verde, Angola, Mali. I expected Nigeria to top the group, but not how we struggled to top the group. Not forgetting that we lost against Cape Verde. Cape Verde, who went into basketball, and no match for Nigeria. So I was really shocked down, but thankfully enough, they still ended up leading the group. So, and of course, we'll wait when the next round of the qualifiers come around, and we'll see if they can actually make it to 2022 FIBA World Cup.
Of course, that one will actually come up in June next year, 2022, in a year to be fixed a venue by FIBA in that particular one. Away from basketball, let's straight to the foreign scene at this point in time, where Real Madrid and German, midfielder talking about Toni Kroos. I say that Messi does not deserve to be crowned the Ballon d'Or, award for the 7th time in that particular one that was decided 2 days ago, and they say no, Messi does not deserve it. It is increasingly difficult for me to believe in football award. Messi is one of the best, but you have to know that who is the most outstanding player after this season. It is not that hard. There is no doubt that Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, has been a player for the last decade, but this year there should not have been other heads. There should not have been, because others were ahead of him. It absolutely did not actually deserve the award. I know Alpha sharing this.
Clearly, I mean, not just me. I mean, yesterday on social media, a lot of players, ex-players, coaches have come out to express their own opinion too on, Messi and Messi now. Because truly, looking at it, like I said, I really don't know the criteria FIFA used. The French football magazine who L'Equipe actually who organizes this award. I really don't know the criteria they use, because to me, like I keep saying, if you're to judge, say okay, because you won the Copa America, how about situations where some certain people won the World Cup, won other competitions, but nothing? Some people actually even made a case, if it's by that if a lot of people made a case for Jorginho, like I said yesterday, who won the Champions League and also won the European Championships, but he came third. So if you're to say is by trophies won, Then how about in some other times when some people won trophies and still didn't win the award? So I think deservedly, seriously, this is one of the, if you're going by the history of the Ballon d'Or award, I think this is one of the either 3 or 4 Ballon d'Ors that, have been quite a bit shady for me. Same the year when clearly a certain Wesley Sneijder would have supposed to win it, and Messi still won it that year. So I think this time around they just try to shift the goalpost to accommodate Messi, because why create a striker's best striker when it never existed? Just to compensate Lewandowski, who we all know that was the clear favorite to win this award.
Of course, so sad for Lewandowski. But let us see how things pans out. The FIFA award will still come up, and let's see who FIFA will actually decide. But that will actually go looking at the performance in their countries and all that. So actually thought for me in favor of Messi, due to the fact that they actually won the Copa America.
Don't just look at
and also
they don't consider only international performance.
They qualified for the World Cup.
No doubt about that.
Poland, for me, they have not actually.
Then if you're talking of the best award, then I mean I can still make a case again for Jorginho also.
Of course. So believe that one. Yes, straight out to England at this point in time, where Manchester United has confirmed Michael Carrick will still actually be standing on the sideline for the game against Arsenal, despite the signing of their new interim manager. And because they're saying that for him to get a visa to England,
work permit.
He's
already in England.
Okay, he's already in
England.
England. He needs a work permit for him to actually start his campaign with the Red Devils. Now, people are saying, Michael Carrick, we still understand. This is the best time for Arsenal to actually have the share of the palliative that Manchester United has been sharing.
The palliative ended
at the beginning of the season.
Since only has left, have you heard of any? So those palliative sharing ended with Ole.
Okay.
So I expected after the second game against Chelsea, a former actually Paul Scholes who said that he doesn't even feel that he's even Carrick who is doing the job. He just felt that the United players simply did not play for Ole. He felt there was a conspiracy to get him out. And I said that a couple of times too. Sometimes when players are fed up with a manager, they have a way of putting up some kind of ridiculous performances just to ensure that the manager is something. Because I don't think in just how many games that Carrick has all that kind of tactical masterclass to So I really think maybe the players have just decided that the man who we didn't want to play for is gone. So let's put in our best and play and fight for the shirt. So good one. But I think this will be his last game in charge because by between now and the end of the week, the work permit should be done and dusted. So I think our next game will be the Champions League final game against Young Boys. So I hope Ralph Ragnick will be able to be in charge for that one.
Of course, let's wait and see how you get the pounds out. Manchester United will be up against Arsenal on Thursday. That is tomorrow at Old Trafford. Is expected to rain down fireworks in that particular match. But quickly, let's look at what really went down yesterday at in the Premier League, where Newcastle, despite a man down in the first 9 minutes of the encounter, still went ahead to draw against visiting Norwich City. 1-1 it ended right there. Leeds City actually defeated Leeds United actually defeated Crystal Palace. This is the second defeat in the running for Patrick Vieira side in the English Premiership. But there are other fixtures that will actually go down today. We see Watford against Chelsea. The whole of the Nigerian player in Watford that will be playing Chelsea later today. Also, West Ham will seek to return to winning ways when they host Brighton. Wolves, Hamilton will actually battle Burnley. Southampton will go up against Kelechi Iheanacho and indeed Leicester City. Aston Villa against Manchester City. Real Steven Gerrard gets to receive his baptism of fire in the English Premiership. Later today, we'll wait and see. Also, Everton will be up against Liverpool. We see Merseyside derby, the return of talking about Rafa Benitez with Liverpool. For me, that is the biggest match on today. But tomorrow also fixtures, as you can see, Tottenham against Brentford. The big one, Manchester United against Arsenal. Alpha, quickly, let's get all your reaction on this match.
Of course, Everton, Liverpool, that will be a match to really look out for. We all know the Merseyside derby is always a very, a very difficult encounter for both sides. And it's interesting to know that in the past 3 games in the Merseyside derby, Everton are yet to lose to Liverpool in the past three times they've met. And of course, Aston Villa, Man City, I'll like to see what Steven Gerrard will be doing in that one, playing against a side like Man City, and it will be really a litmus test for him to really show if he has truly come of age, because so far he has won his first 2 games in charge. So this will be really a test. Of course, Southampton, Leicester City, that will be one to look out for. Of course, with the Nigerians there, Kelechi, and of course, then Wolves, Burnley, West Ham, Brighton. Of course, West Ham lost the last one, but they'll be hoping to
against Manchester City.
Get back to winning ways in this one. Of course, Watford, Chelsea, also Watford with the Nigerian contingent there will be hoping to, maybe take some more points out of Chelsea after that hard-fought draw at home to United, rather than Leeds City, Crystal Palace. I didn't expect that game to go in favor of NBC. Then Newcastle, Norwich. And Newcastle, in spite of the big money that has come into the club,
no, they are yet to sign any player.
But what we are saying is, what I said was, if Newcastle goes to relegation, it will be difficult, because I don't really see players coming in January to really make an impact. Because how many players do you need to get in this team to make a difference?
The Newcastle side went down, 10 men down in the first 10 minutes of that particular game. They were the one that actually scored first before we get to equalize. Them playing for 82 minutes with 10 men down against Norwich City, who are actually struggling. For me, it's the best result for them.
Yeah, but matches are going already. Newcastle are yet to win a game this season.
Of course, they are yet to win a game.
So
let us hope
they are already in relegation waters as it is. So they will need. And the whole it came out to say that they will naturally need a miracle
from 13 games
to escape relegation.
Of course, just 6 points from 13 games for Newcastle so far this season. But this is where we join the content for sports upbeat. For today, it has been nice, talking sports with Alpha actually right here in the studio. Also, our viewers, it has been, good, having you stick around and talk sports with us right here on the Leadership of Podcast studio. We'll make a return bigger and better tomorrow with fresh another edition of Sports Orbit. But for now, my name is Olawale, and I'm saying bye for now. To have a lovely day ahead of you.
Hello, my name is Gernot Rohr, Director General National Agency for the Control of AIDS. Today is World AIDS Day. The theme of this year's World AIDS Day is End Inequalities, End AIDS, End Pandemics. We encourage people to access our services wherever they are, and we encourage people to contribute to the control of HIV/AIDS by knowing their HIV status today. Know your HIV status and do something about it. If you are HIV positive, make sure you access our services and make sure we control the HIV in you without letting it spread from you to another person. If you are HIV negative, make sure you remain HIV negative for the rest of your life.